will be officiated today by Hank Nichols of the ACC, Jim Clark of the PCAA, and Fred Jaspers of the Big Ten. We are underway, and West Virginia will control. Dale Blaney with the ball. Maryland set up in a man-to-man. And off the bat, Odom with a score.
And this is the kind of high intensity that you'll see West Virginia display all day long. Herman Veal draws the assignment of checking Lester Rowe of West Virginia.
Adrian Branch with the ball. Moves to the baseline. There's Ben Coleman. Over Tim Carney. And Ben Coleman is tied it.
The Maryland bench feels that will be the key matchup for them on the inside. Of course, Ben Coleman against Carney. Carney really cannot afford to get in foul trouble for West Virginia.
Odom again. Fouled by Atkins after the shot. So he'll get 2 free throws. Dale Odom from Hartford. Take it back. Sherrill Ford, North Carolina. 6'2" sophomore. Scores about 9 points a game. Will dish out 2 assists. And he'll hit 72% of his free throws.
Had a good game against Oregon State. He led West Virginia in scoring with 15. And as you've seen already twice, he will launch the deep jumper from anywhere on the court.
His speed could be a problem for Jeff Atkins. Hands them both, and it's a 4-2 West Virginia lead.
Good job by Maryland of handling the press. Again, the West Virginia press doesn't look for the steal. They try to throw it at you just to see if you can handle it. Maryland did a good, patient job.
Looks like the defense here is a box and one. Nope.
They've got a triangle and two, Frank. On Adrian Branch and Len Bias, those 2 guys are being guarded man for man.
Coleman out of bounds. Maryland will retain possession, although I think the ball went off his leg. First half still. Oklahoma trails by 1. Houston and Louisiana Tech have just started. Len Bias with a hand in his face. Herman Veal picks up the loose ball and scores.
Good job by Herman Veal of collecting himself. He picked the ball up off the floor, off balance, but he collected his feet, went up strong.
Dale Blaney round the horn. There's Lester Rowe's jumper. Mike King, I take it back. 42, not 24.
The more you see West Virginia make these outside shots, the stronger their confidence becomes.
Adrian Branch cannot get it, and Odom steals a rebound underneath. There's Lester Rowe. Probably the easiest shot he'll have all day.
Now, I think what you're going to find is Ben Coleman try to gauge just what the officials are going to allow.
These officials did not go into the dressing rooms before the game to let the players know how closely they were going to call it. Coleman has it knocked away and knocked some people away. Tim Carney got an elbow to the chest.
Yeah, I started to mention that Ben Coleman is going to gauge just what the officials are going to allow. The time before this shot when he went up, he was grabbed on the arm, turned and just looked at the official, recognizing that maybe he's going to allow some very physical play. Certainly, Coleman is big and strong enough to adjust.
In our first game here today, the officials did go to the dressing rooms and say, gentlemen, we're going to let you play underneath the basket. These officials did not. And it's up to the official's discretion how he wants to handle that. The NCAA does not dictate that policy. Ben Coleman, a transfer from the University of Minnesota. Went to Maryland after Buck Williams was signed as a hardship by the NBA. Lefty Drizel refers to Ben Coleman as my horse.
And plays a lot like Buck Williams.
Odom again from long range. The scramble, and it'll be West Virginia's ball. Maryland looks a little tight here early. West Virginia has the advantage of a game's experience in this year's tournament under their belt. Two-shot foul called by Hank Nichols. It'll be against Adrian Branch.
Now, we talked about how aggressive, clawing, and nagging defense that West Virginia plays. If you take a look at Adrian Branch, he got frustrated, and he threw an elbow. That's one thing that Maryland cannot allow themselves to fall into the habit of, and that's to retaliate. They've got to go back strong with good physical play.
So the blatant foul, and Dale Blaney will have 2 shots. The heartthrob of West Virginia. Dale Blaney, 6'4", 180 pounds from Hartford, Ohio. Lefty does not like the call. Maryland works against the pressure. And Jeff Atkins hits the outside jumper. 9-8. West Virginia's lead is 1. And so far they have played a half-court game. We have not seen any fast break yet. Odom inside. Posting up Jeff Atkins and beating with his quickness. Telegraphed the pass, and there was Mike King to pick it off. Here's Odom again with the alley-oop.
And Frank, if you're West Virginia, you got to believe that you want to see the ball in the hands of Adrian Branch trying to break the press. West Virginia feels much more confident in being able to take the ball from him or forcing him to commit a turnover.
Tim Carney against Coleman. Mike King with a long jumper. Carney with a tip, and Coleman has the rebound. Maryland will not run as much with Jeff Atkins, the man with the ball there, made the pass. With him in the game as with Keith Gatlin. Herman Veal.
Veal has a nice touch along the baseline from about 12 feet and in. He can connect on that one all day long. And again, I think a key for Herman Veal will be whether or not he tires easily, because Lester Rowe runs the entire court.
By Tim Carney, it'll be a turnover against West Virginia, and Keith Gatlin will check into the basketball game. Here comes the speed for Maryland.
This young man, Keith Gatlin, will be heard from for years to come. Very, very talented, very poised young man, quietly confident.
West Virginia will counter with J.J. Krall, 6'1", 165 pounds. Good quickness to go against Gatlin.
And he plays up in your chest, Frank. J.J. Krall, that is.
Then Coleman.
Coleman has really perfected that little jump hook to get over top of the taller centers that he's so accustomed to playing, certainly in the ACC.
Maryland has its first lead, 12-11. Lester Rowe tries to get it back and doesn't. Here comes the break. Branch against Krall. Coleman got fouled, and the foul will go against Mike King.
Frank, I'm really impressed with the way the Maryland big men collect themselves without putting the ball on the floor. That time Coleman got the ball, was off balance again, collected himself and went up strong to use that big, strong body of his.
Ben Coleman is a 72% free throw shooter from Minneapolis.
Doesn't shoot that free throw in the classic mode of using his legs, but the most important thing, he's effective with it.
Number 30, Renardo Brown is checked in. He is from Highland Park, Michigan. Of him, Gail Catlett said yesterday, he reminds me of Magic Johnson. From Detroit, he's a heck of a player.
And with that substitution, you get some idea of why West Virginia can run all day. You know, Gatlin is a lot like George Gervin in that he will take whatever the defense gives him. His offensive move is predicated upon what the defense does.
Here he goes to lead the break. Whoa, yes.
And the engines are cranked up.
The other end, Rowe. Off the glass and a miss. We have a foul underneath on the rebound, and it's going to get against Tim Carney. That's his first personal, and now a technical. And led by a Bias is going to get it as he pushes with J.J. Kroll.
Now, certainly Bias is not one to back down from physical action, but smartly he's doing the right thing, collecting himself, recognizing that he's too valuable a member to the Maryland team, and to go out there and to get back the proper way, and that's to deliver on the court. J.J. Kroll, on the other hand, is showing that he's not about to be taken advantage of because he's smaller.
A technical foul on Maryland's number 34, Len Bias.
So Lester Rowe converts on the technical foul. And Lester Rowe has just made his 20th consecutive free throw.
I just got a sporty truck priced like some...
As many as 3 points early, has come back to take the lead against West Virginia. A timeout called moments ago to let tempers cool a little bit between the Terrapins and the Mountaineers. Flared, J.J. Kroll and Len Bias.
As you take a look, this is the after effect of Len Bias and J.J. Kroll getting a little physical. Bias tried to shoot him a little subtle elbow, and J.J. Kroll came right back at him. You say, no way, partner.
Intimidation always a factor in a game to try to get an upper hand.
Nothing more than a sight job. In the battle of the boards early on, Maryland has a distinct advantage. They're leading 6-1 in that category, so the big fellas of Maryland are responding to the challenge. I think that was a perfect indication of why Tim Carney is called dimes. On that shot of his, he did not get high enough to slip a dime under his shoe soles, which is why he's called dimes.
And Beal gets it right back. Beal has hit all 3 of his attempts today.
So far, Herman Beal has done a nice job on Lester Rowe and not making him contribute to the West Virginia offense.
Dale Blaney.
Keep your hands off.
Adrian Branch, and we have a whistle on the shot. It'll be against Blaney. Incidentally, point of clarification. Officials have just told us that nothing was said to Kentucky nor to Brigham Young's players before the game by the officials on how they were going to call the game, whether they were going to call it tight or loose. So that was incorrect. They have told teams earlier in this regional whether or not they were going to call it tight or loose, but they did not do that today in the case of Brigham Young and Kentucky or in the case of these two teams. Branch, a 74% free throw shooter, misses his first. From DeMatha High School, just outside Washington, D.C. Minutes showing here in the first half. Maryland has a 4-point lead over West Virginia. Brown saves it. But Gatlin controls it. Branch, and it'll count.
Maryland just has so much talent. They're able to compensate for some of the mistakes. On that particular break, Adrian Branch right here should have told Keith Gatlin he had a player coming behind him, didn't communicate. Fortunately, Adrian picked it up and converted the shot attempt there. But again, there's got to be communication between the players. Let your teammate know if he's in trouble.
Substitutions, and Mike King comes back in for West Virginia along with Vernon Odom. So Dale Catlett has gone to his bench early. Giving everybody a break to try to keep up this pace with Maryland.
Well, the nice thing from the Maryland perspective is that Lester Rowe is on the bench. Hermanville has really done the job denying him the ball.
Adrian Branch converts the three-point play. Maryland has its biggest lead here early in the game. Now a whistle against Adrian Branch.
Maryland foul on number 24, Adrian Branch.
That will be 2 on Branch. Brown will inbound. And J.J. Krall and Vernon Odom are the guards now for West Virginia.
Good overplayed defense by Lynn Bias.
There's Bias. Look at the batting boards. Veal makes his 4th straight shot, and we have a foul on Mike King.
Hermanville with those broad shoulders that time just muscled his way inside for position. Branch tried to draw the foul there, but take a look at Hermanville. He grabs the ball firmly with both hands, and Frank goes straight back up. That's so key in teaching the other ball players, the younger ball players out there, to go straight up with that ball.
Hermanville has converted a three-point play. He has 9 points now to lead Maryland. Dale Catlett told us yesterday, we were 10-9 at midseason. I said the road to the NCAA goes through Morgantown, and I was right. And I'm not going to worry if we fall behind tomorrow. We can rally. We've got the composure. Coleman to Veal. And Odom got him to prevent the shot.
The story so far is that Maryland University has taken the steam out of the West Virginia run. They're doing a job on the boards, and as a result of the job on the boards, take a look at Hermanville. He gets the opportunity to go down for the uncontested layup, but is fouled in the process.
Lester Rowe is back in the ballgame for West Virginia. Adrian Branch will get a rest now. And some words of wisdom from Lefty Dressel. Hermanville now with 10 points. He's hit 4 of 4 shots from the floor. He has 4 rebounds. The Maryland bench keeps separate statistics from the official statistics, and they credit Hermanville with taking 27 charges in the last 30 games. They keep a defensive statistic. Lead. Blaney. Coleman was up there. The West Virginia fans wanted goaltending. Didn't get it. Oh, we get a foul, and it'll be on Catlin for reaching in. Ben Coleman blocked the shot.
Ben Coleman completely shut the door defensively on West Virginia. Did a great job on the first 2 blocks. The only mistake he made on the last block was he swung his arm down. Take a look at Ben Coleman comes in. Great job with the block. Changed this shot up right here of Lester Rowe's. And the only reason he got called for the foul is that he swung his arm down when they came back at him a 3rd time.
43, Oklahoma, 39.
The foul will go against Keith Gatlin, the freshman point guard. It is his first. And Lester Rowe to the line. He's now hit 21 straight.
One shot!
Dale Catlin, shouting instructions. That's his first miss in tournament play this year. And Carney turns it into a 3-point play.
Tim Carney.
A whistle and a foul. It'll be against Brown. Ran into Len Bias. Len Bias has not had a very pleasant day so far in Birmingham.
West Virginia foul.
The toughest thing for Len Bias right now is just keeping himself in check. He can certainly play the physical game.
Well, he's certainly getting a physical game today. It is warm in this arena, as you can see from Len Bias.
Comes from a good program over there at Northwestern High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. They produced some very talented ball players in the last several years, and Len Bias certainly is one of those players.
Bias takes the lead for Maryland back to 10 points. Clock is moving down to 11 minutes here in the first half. I'm Frank Herzog with James Brown. You watch live tournament action here on CBS Sports. Blaney connects.
West Virginia is going to have to get more scoring from the guards in a person of Blaney and Odom. Maryland has done a good job of forcing him into a half-court offense as opposed to an up-tempo game.
Bias with a nice recovery. Herman Veal is 5 for 5. He has not missed.
The officials are watching Len Bias very closely now. He's still very frustrated after that last pass. He was scraped across the forehead. But again, the story so far is the job that Herman Veal is doing on Lester Rowe. Lester Rowe has taken only 3 shots so far.
He gets an offensive rebound, and he's going to get called for pushing off to get it.
Now, that's a frustration foul. Again, Lester Rowe, as active as he normally is, Herman Veal has been doing such a good job of keeping him off the boards and denying the ball. That's a frustration foul.
Number 32.
Terry Long waits to come in for the University of Maryland, but he will replace Herman Veal, who's asked for a rest. But Herman Veal will have to shoot the free throws first. That, they say, is the colt if Ben Coleman is the horse. Freshman Terry Long, 6'8", 240 pounds, from Glen Allen, Virginia. Veal extends the Maryland lead to 12 points. And Herman Veal goes off the floor, leading all scorers with 14 points.
I think at halftime, Lefty is certainly going to check his players for scars and scratches. They will definitely carry the battle wounds into the locker room. One of the reasons that the West Virginia ball squad is so physical, they've been on a weight program and they feel very confident.
Reaching in foul this time, called by the Big Ten official Fred Jaspers. And it'll be against that man there, Len Bias. His first personal foul, but he's also had a technical foul. Maryland dominating here early in the first half. No, James, I just looked at the scoreboard. Maryland has scored 33 points in the first 10 minutes. If they keep up this pace, they'll score 132 points in this game.
And Marty Aronoff also pointed out to me the job that Maryland is doing on the offensive and defensive boards. That is effectively taking the running game away from West Virginia, forcing them into playing a more moderate-paced half-court game, and they're not effective. They're giving away too many inches to Maryland.
They cannot keep up this pace, I don't think. It's just too warm in this arena this afternoon. We'll see. Rowe against Terry Long, the freshman. Blaney brings it back out. Obviously, Gail Catlett told him, let's be patient, guys. We've got a holding call against Terry Long.
You know, Lester Rowe has really enjoyed a lot of success against bigger players, but take a look at Terry Long as he's trying to give Lester Rowe a little body. He gets caught for the hooking foul right here as he tries to deny the ball. The official's right on top of it. But Rowe has enjoyed more success against bigger guards because he's usually, or rather bigger forwards, because he's quicker than those guys.
Off Blaney's hands and out of bounds. Maryland takes it back. Houston leading Louisiana Tech in the first half by 6.
And West Virginia has now gone to a man-to-man defense. You'll see a number of defenses by West Virginia all afternoon.
A Another factor in this game for Maryland, James, has been the fact that they've only turned the ball over once so far.
Handled the ball very nicely.
Blaney, and Long knocks it out of bounds.
That was great hustle by Terry Long to catch up with the guard, 6'5" Dale Blaney, and that's coming from a guy 6'8" from Terry Long. And talking about 6'8", you see Adrian Branch coming back in the game for Len Bias.
So both coaches have had to go to the bench because of the heat in the arena. And that's not to imply that the heat is on here in Birmingham. It's just a warm day. We've already had one intense game so far. Long inside.
Lefty Drizel is very high on Terry Long. He really considers him a talent for the future.
West Virginia and Maryland sparring back and forth now, trading baskets. But Maryland has a 12-point lead. They jumped out in front. Or fell behind early, really, to West Virginia. Then took over, tied it up, went in front 12-11, and then they started to move away there.
Now, that was good offensive patience displayed by West Virginia. Maryland is forcing them to spread wider on the offense, but they're showing some patience to get into the paint area.
Gatlin, offensive foul. Odom draws it.
And that's the only thing that the freshman will have to learn. You can't create a play where there is none. Here he should have pulled up. He got a little too snazzy right here. There was really no move there. Great defensive position by Odom.
So it's a 10-point Maryland lead. If West Virginia can convert, they can cut it to 8. Carney against Coleman, and Carney hits.
Now West Virginia is starting to settle down a tad bit more on the offense. They've made it an 8-point ball game now, showing offensive patience and going for the good high percentage shots. Is not moving as crisply on the offensive end, Frank. This man-to-man defense that Virginia's throwing at him, West Virginia's throwing at him, is causing them to really go out of their offensive scheme of things.
Blaney and Branch there exchanging swats back and forth. And now Herman Beal will check back in for Maryland.
Returning to Maryland, number 42.
At halftime of this game between West Virginia and Maryland, a special feature on Ray Myers, his last chance in this NCAA championship tournament. They play Illinois State this weekend. We'll have scores and highlights for you, and Brent Musburger will bring you up to date on how this NCAA championship is going.
As you take a look at Adrian Branch at the free throw line, one of the nice adjustments that he's made in this Maryland system is trying to use and get his offense within the confines of the offensive set as opposed to trying to go one-on-one. The guy is so talented offensively. He's been asked to do so many different things from Maryland. Play point guard, second guard, and small forward, but he's got to just play under control.
DePaul and Illinois State play tomorrow. Field goal percentage so far, Maryland off to a very hot start.
Maryland showing a 2-3 zone defense.
Lefty Drizel says that the zone defense in the ACC tournament championship game is what made a difference. Got Maryland ahead of Duke. Once they went to the zone, Duke just couldn't get its composure back. And that was the key in the game.
And you know, there was a time where Lefty would never, ever play a zone defense, but he recognizes that the talent has changed considerably as of today.
In fact, we talked to Lefty yesterday, and then we talked to Gail Catlett and kidded them both about saying, they both used to say, you'll never win the national championship playing a zone defense. We have another call underneath, a blocking foul. At the half. Houston by 7 over Louisiana Tech. That matchup of the centers. And look at this. Oklahoma, the Big 8 champions, struggling against Dayton. That is in the second half, and Dayton leads by 7. What about zone defenses? That man, Gail Catlett, said yesterday something interesting. You know, he said, I don't believe Bobby Knight can win the Olympics this year playing half-court, man-to-man defense. You've got to switch up your defenses in this day and age in basketball, and it's even true in international ball. Catlett says, I've seen the Russians, I've seen the Czechs, I've seen the European teams. You can't play just one defense against them anymore.
And again, the reason for that is he indicated the talent is too good today and is too widespread for one set defense to be effective all the time. The guys are too talented. They can make the adjustments.
At the line so far, Maryland has hit 14 of 17, 15 of 18 free throws, while West Virginia has hit only 5 of 7.
And again, take a look visually. West Virginia walking the ball up the court. Good patience by J.J. Kroll. Again, they're trying to set up that triangle underneath the basket and get a better shot down low. And Tim Carney does a good job to prove in the pudding that you do not have to be a good leaper in order to do a good job on the offensive boards. He had his hands up. More importantly, he had good defensive position.
Catlett says he's the smartest big man he's ever coached. Coleman has him one-on-one. Tough shot.
And Coleman exploited the slow feet of Tim Carney.
The word from that Oklahoma game is that All-American center Wayman Tisdale is out with a sprained ankle. He has left the game. Blaney, offensive foul.
Well, take a look as Blaney receives a pass. He makes his mind up what he's going to do as opposed, again, to reading the defense. Great play on the part of Herman Veal.
Herman Veal takes his 28th charge in 31 games. That is a good statistic. He's Lefty's defensive stopper. In fact, Lefty told him after the ACC championship, I'm going to start calling you Mr. D for your defense. Good free throw shooting by Maryland, a key factor in any tournament team.
We talked about the number of charges that Herman Veal has taken all year long. You can understand why he's been bench pressing and working to build that chest up so as to act as a cushion to take those charges.
16 points, 5 rebounds, and he's taken a charge. Herman Veal's played a whole game here in the first 15 minutes of this one. Here comes Gatlin in the terror. 3-on-2. Mike King on the crawl. Goaltending.
Credit the basket to J.J. Kroll. Officials timeout.
4 minutes, 53 seconds left to go here in the first half as Ben Coleman slaps the shot away and gives West Virginia an easy 2.
28, Oklahoma.
You're watching live coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship here on CBS Sports. I'm Frank Herzog, along with James Brown, Birmingham, Alabama. Second round Mid-East region game as Maryland leads West Virginia by 12. An update on that Oklahoma game. We told you Wayman Tisdale went out with a bad ankle. He went to the locker room. Wayman Tisdale has come back. We'll get you an update shortly on the score. Front line scoring there, a difference by 13 points. Herman Veal already has 16 points. His career high is 20.
And Coach Gail Catlett of West Virginia continues to try and solve the riddle of the strength and offensive production that Maryland is showing in the first half. He has now got his troops going to a 3-2 zone defense, which leaves you a little thin, a little weak along the baseline, and of course that's where Maryland has their strength.
You see Dayton leads Oklahoma 55-47, but again repeating, the All-American Wayman Tisdale has returned to the Oklahoma lineup. Len Bias can't get it, but Beal keeps it alive. 6 rebounds now for Herman Beal.
Frank, that was a perfect example of what I was talking about. Beal was able to get in there because, again, West Virginia only has 2 men back on that 3-2 zone. That leaves you weak along that rebounding baseline.
Maryland's going to work that ball around, but they'd like West Virginia to come out of that zone.
Take a look at it. Now, you've actually, great play.
42 White, on belly.
Well, you heard the call. 42 White, Herman Beal.
A great non-play. A superb read by Keith Gatlin. What Herman Beal was trying to do was to set a pick on that one baseline postman on that 3-2 zone defense to allow Len Bias to come in for that alley-oop slam dunk. Great thought.
Unfortunately, they caught him.
Indeed, that's why it was a great non-play.
And at the line in the bonus situation, West Virginia. Mike King.
Very interesting to see how Maryland is getting the scoring from other people. Len Bias, of course, as you mentioned, was the ACC tournament most valuable player. He doesn't have a field goal in this game, but Maryland still leads by 10 points.
That also says something about Maryland's depth.
West Virginia has now made that zone more of a 2-1-2. Renardo Brown is back in the paint area as opposed to up high as he was before in the 3-2. That's to respect Ben Coleman down there.
Atkins misses. West Virginia has the loose ball. For the last 10 minutes, this Maryland lead has fluctuated between 10 and 12 points. They can't seem to go any further. West Virginia can't make up any ground.
And Frank, to West Virginia's credit, they aren't trying to force the running game, recognizing that it's not there. They're coming down and displaying a lot of patience on the offensive end to keep this game within striking distance.
A lot of noise. The body's hitting the floor. No foul is called. Mike King gets up limping a bit for West Virginia. He is hurt. It's his left knee, or is it the hamstring?
Take a look at Mike King, number 42, as he makes the penetration move. Watch how he comes down right there on that knee when Ben Coleman tried to take the charge. Most of King's weight came down on that left knee.
West Virginia's trainer, Jack Brottigam, is checking out now Mike King. You see his totals there. Ben Coleman is tough in that paint. 11 points, and he's hit all 4 of his shots.
The pros love him. They love the fact that he likes the physical contact.
Gatlin with a steal. And now Maryland has its biggest lead, 14 points, with 1:50 to go.
Frank, emotionally, you could just see how the Maryland Terrapins changed as a ball club when Keith Gatlin came in there. They had the fire in their eyes. They knew the tempo was going to be changed, and they also hustled because Gatlin will get them the ball if they're open.
Renardo Brown answered for West Virginia with his first field goal.
We talked about that shot yesterday. Kind of a set shot, but he's accurate with it.
And at the other end, Odom leads West Virginia with 10 points. You can see Dayton has stretched that lead over Oklahoma now to 11 points. Again, that's in the second half. We'll have an update on that action for you at halftime with Brent Musburger. Bias with his first field goal of the day.
Looked like he was walking up a ladder. Had plenty of time to adjust that shot while he was high in the air.
That's a good matchup between he and Brown. Heel holds on. And here comes Keith Gatlin. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Perfect example of eye communication. Gatlin and Len Bias communicated by way of the eyes the entire way down the court.
You see the time there in the lower right-hand corner as Odom hits again. Again at halftime, we'll have highlights, updates on the big key games around the country, including an update on that Oklahoma situation with Dayton, Wayman Tisdale's injury. Brett Musburger will put this NCAA championship tournament in perspective. Coleman at the buzzer. University of Maryland came out and has put on an impressive offensive show against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Look at this last shot. Ben Coleman beat Dayton with a shot very much like this.
But look who he has to thank. Heath Gatlin. Let's see if he gets it off before the clock expires. The ball is in the air, no question about it.
That's the end of the first half with a score. Maryland 55, West Virginia 39. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA basketball championship. Adrian Brown to inbound in front of us. Lefty Drizel got his first ACC championship in 15 years at College Park this year. That's why he's here with a first-round bye. The alley-oop to Bias was thrown too high by Branch. Here's Odom. On the feed underneath. And Lester Rowe has scored. With the first wide-open shot he's had today. Came off a pick, got two back from Maryland. He has 8 points so far. The leading scorer in this game, surprisingly, is Herman Veal with 16. There he is with a rebound. And Keith Gatlin has started the second half. 10 rebounds now for Herman Veal, 16 points. He's had quite a day so already. Steal by Brown. The baseball pass to Rowe. And we've got a whistle on the rebound. It'll be against Odom.
Frank, subtle thing but important thing. On that baseball pass down to Lester Rowe, Keith Gatlin did a good job of turning around and running to a spot on the floor to take away a penetrating move by Lester Rowe, forcing him to take the jump shot. Lester Rowe is not that consistent from 12 feet and out. He prefers the in-paint moves.
Adrian Branch, speaking of in-paint moves, with only his second field goal of the day. Dale Blaney. Little flat that time. Came right off the back of the rim and bounced a long carom out. West Virginia has played this entire game as a very patient team. Maryland, on the other hand, has been impatient. They've been a team that looks like it's playing under the realm of a 10 or 15 second clock. Oklahoma still trailing Dayton. That's a second half score. Houston has slowly stretched its lead to 10 over Louisiana Tech.
You talked about Adrian Branch earlier only having 2 field goals. I like the fact that he's playing within the team framework. He's playing a good job of defense.
Coleman swats down the ball there. The blind pass by Keith. Look out!
Len Bias always looks as if he's got the landing gear spread wide when he comes down for that slam dunk.
That's a good point. He does. They don't call the technical foul for hanging from the rim anymore because of the collapsible rims.
Now take a look. Watch how he spreads his legs once he gets in the air. The landing gear comes wide. Emphatic slam dunk. Len Bias. He had a number of those in the ACC tourney.
Odom sits down, gets a rest. J.J. Kroll is back in to run the West Virginia offense. They've got to get started here pretty soon. They're down by 22 points. They can't let this slip any further. They were down to Oregon State the other night, if that is any consolation to West Virginia fans, and came back, although they were not down as this far.
And surprisingly, Coach Catlett thought that the West Virginia squad would have an easier time today because of Oregon State's front line he thought was a little better.
You're reading my mind. He said that. Oregon State's front line, I think, is better than Maryland's. But maybe what he didn't say, or what he should have said, better but not quicker. Oregon State was slow. Tipped away. Lester Rowe has it. Nothing up court, so J.J. Kroll will do the duty. There was contact and no foul. Then a foul after the contact. For West Virginia, Eric Semish from Ambler, Pennsylvania has checked in. He's a freshman forward.
You've mentioned, again, that Coach Catlett talked about A.C. Green and Charlie Sitton of Oregon State University being rated and touted as the two best big men in the Pac-10. But what he didn't realize is that Maryland University has depth spread across that front line, and they've got it coming off the bench also. And while a number of their players have not received the kind of publicity that those two young men from Oregon State have, they are as talented, particularly Len Bias, who's going to develop into one of the premier forwards in the country.
Maryland has a run going right now. They've hit their last 7 consecutive shots. Make it 8. Veal is 6 for 6. Maryland's only missed 8 shots the whole game.
The riddle for West Virginia to solve is that Maryland is hitting from so many different places on the court. Everyone is contributing. You can't single out 1, 2, or 3 people.
Blaney driving that baseline and getting it down. His first bucket of the second half.
That's the young man that they tell us is the heartthrob of all the teenagers in West Virginia, Dale Blaney.
The love letters are legion. Branch and Blaney got a piece of it. Blocked his shot.
Good defense.
Brawl leading that break. And a reach in. Frustration foul by Brown.
Take a look at Len Bias as he goes up. Now he recognizes Renardo Brown is right on top of him, so he comes up. That's legal to have your elbows like that and turn your elbows with your body. He did that purposely to get Renardo Brown off of him.
Renardo Brown, in the meantime, not only gets called for a foul, but gets about 3 elbows in the nose. Jeff Atkins and Keith Gatlin are the guards. Veal and Bias at forward. Ben Coleman has stayed in at center. Gatlin.
We can keep the defense honest. Now see, that was a flat 3-2 zone that West Virginia was playing. Keith Gatlin made him pay for it.
It is interesting today, but these two coaches are about as quiet as I've seen them in a while.
Well, that's been a changed Lefty Drizel all year long, and Adrian Branch commented that because of his laid-back approach, not getting on the guys who are making mistakes and yanking them out so quickly, the guys are playing more confidently now, and it's showing.
Take him, Joe.
Coleman, 17 points for Coleman. He is 7 for 7. J.J. Kroll with a drive, and we have the whistle. Herman Veal, I believe, will get called for the foul.
Take a look at JJ. Watch how he cuts on a dime. Good fake, good movement around there. Excellent foot control, and he goes up strong. Veal got there too late trying to take the charge. The right thought, but executed too late.
We can look ahead to Lexington, Kentucky, and the next step in this Mid-East Regional. If Maryland holds on to win here today, beat West Virginia, they would play the winner of tomorrow's Illinois-Villanova game, Thursday in Lexington's Rupp Arena. The other game Thursday at Lexington, Kentucky will play the Louisville-Tulsa winner. Right now, Christian is well in control.
In the second half, in the West.
You see the score, and that tells just about how well Maryland is dominated. Maybe this tells them a little better. Look at this shooting, 26 for 35. They've missed 9 shots the entire game. At halftime, the West Virginia people walked by our table and said, well, they can't keep this up forever, can they? Shooting 70%? Well, they're right. They're shooting 74 now. That's phenomenal. Slow it down a little bit. Use up some of that clock. Bias is fouled by Brown. That has turned into a pretty good confrontation.
As Len Bias checks to make certain that his elbow is still in socket there. Even though the West Virginia squad has given away a few inches per man, they're only being out-rebounded by 3, 19-16, and on the year, on the average, West Virginia has been out-rebounding their opponents by 5. So they're certainly hanging in, fighting Maryland tooth and nail all the way. But again, the depth and the talent of Maryland is telling the story so far.
Brown right back at the other end and scores. Only his second field goal today. He scored but 4 points. Lester Rowe has but 8. And neither one of us will sit here and count West Virginia out yet. We saw them rally against Oregon State. If Maryland goes flat, if they cannot keep up the kind of sizzling shooting they have so far in the first 25-30 minutes of this basketball game, West Virginia can catch up in a hurry.
Now I wonder if Len Bias came down on his ankle or knee wrong as he went up for the rebound in the pack. A couple of people nudged him. Take a look. Keith Gatling goes up for the shot, but watch to the right of your screen. Len Bias is going to come in and go for the rebound, and watch a couple of guys get him while he's in the air. He comes down awkwardly on that right leg, and for a few seconds there was grimacing.
J.J. Crawl forcing things a bit, but there to clean up. No, it didn't drop.
Offensive goaltending on Herman Veal. He grabbed the net.
Darryl Pinckney will get his first field goal, courtesy of the goaltending. Adrian Branch is back. Keith Gatlin will get a break. Mark Fothergill is in.
Very important for Maryland to maintain their poise and composure. West Virginia is not giving up. And if you look in the guys' eyes, they're still just as fierce and just as competitive. More importantly, their wind is still with them. They're still moving crisply on defense. West Virginia, that is.
Bias straight up in the air with that jumper. He's hit his last 5. It's becoming more of a story if someone from Maryland misses. That's only happened 9 times now.
I got him.
38 minutes.
Adrian Branch got the rebound, but a great blocking out job by Mark Fothergill against Darryl Pinckney.
Excuse me, at 28 minutes. 11:50 left to go.
Now more of a 3-2. Renardo Brown, number 30 in the dark, is up higher in that zone. That's the 3-2. It becomes a 2-3 once the ball goes to the wing or the corner positions. All Len Bias can do thank goodness that he has all parts in working order.
Eric Semish gets called for the foul. Bias acted as if he got it across the throat.
Right here, as he realized the pass was misthrown, he did not try to go for it anymore, and as he came down, he caught an elbow along the neck.
Again, Gail Catlett's comments are going to come back to haunt him. He said Maryland's inside game is not as strong as Oregon State. Maryland's front line, Coleman, Veal, Bias, and Long, are 19 for 22 shooting in this game. They've missed but 3 shots. And then Adkins comes back to hit his second.
And that inside game of Maryland's is allowing the outside game to start to take hold.
Less than 2 minutes to go. Dayton ahead of Oklahoma by 11 points. Another upset in this tournament. Dayton would play the winner of tomorrow's Washington-Duke game in a regional semifinal Thursday in Los Angeles if they hold on to beat Wayman Tisdale and Oklahoma.
Maryland foul, second, team third.
Terry Long will come in place of Herman Veal. James, is it too early now to looking at these first and second round games to get a pulse on this tournament? What's happening? The upsets, are you surprised by them?
Frank, only slightly. I think 2 things are pointed out. One, that any team can beat another team on any given day. And 2, I go back to the point that I made before. There's so much good talent around the country now. So much good talent that parity is definitely a word that you can use very comfortably.
And it gives you just another reason why the field in this tournament is going to expand next year to 64 teams, because they have such balance.
When you look at teams like Alcorn State that only lost to Kansas by 1 point, they got to the second round. You look at teams like Dayton, Temple, etc. A number of good teams around that just don't get as much publicity and recognition, but indeed deserve to be in the tournament. That's why we're covering so many games now.
Here's the foul underneath on Tim Carney. See the hand against Coleman, trying to reach in to prevent the pass. Coleman getting a little frustrated by all this.
When he does, all he does is give the ball to the helicopter, and the helicopter continues to rise.
It is awesome. Gail Catlett is up. You see him there near the top of your screen. There he is, up and pacing. First time he's been up in a while.
You know, Frank, when I think about a number, as you take a look at Lynn Bias, when I think about a number of the professional ball players, Kevin Porter had a little distinctive trademark, the high step. Lynn Bias, there's no question about it, his trademark, the landing gear by way of those spread feet.
CBS Sports is proud to be bringing you live NCAA Championship Basketball. I'm Frank Herzog, along with James Brown in Birmingham for the second round Mid-East Region game between Maryland and West Virginia. You see the time remaining. Lefty Drizel's team in control by 23 points against West Virginia. Okay, Lefty. Odom with the ball.
I got 2. All right.
Jeff Baxter is in the game for Maryland University, a very seldom used guard, number 12 out of Archbishop Carroll High School in Washington, D.C. A young man I think really has a lot of talent and certainly could be a good role player for Maryland.
He is a backcourt mate, or he was a backcourt mate, with Duke's Johnny Dawkins at Carroll. Odom with his first basket of the second half. They break the pressure.
Good patience on Adrian Branch's part. Indeed, you mentioned Jeff Baxter and Johnny Dawkins went head-to-head in a lot of combat. Dawkins over at Mackin High School, which is a big Catholic rival of Archbishop Carroll. But Baxter has got a lot of quickness, a lot of speed, and I thought that he might have been used defensively when Maryland played Duke to defend against Dawkins to go speed for speed. But of course, Maryland had enough talent to come out anyway.
Bias at the line. keeps Maryland's streak alive. They have now made 13 consecutive free throws. They're 20 for 23 in the game.
There's no question this kid is very talented. I saw him playing in McDonald's High School All-Star game. He did a number when he was a senior in high school. But I think one of the biggest improvements that he's made is in his personal control, maintaining his temper, and just doing it on the basketball court.
There he is. Carney does a nice job picking off that outlet. Lester Rowe.
Well, I tell you, between Hermanville and Terry Long, they have done a masterful job on Lester Rowe. The fans have not really seen the kind of damage that Lester Rowe has and can do, but credit that to a strong defensive effort by both of those Maryland players.
First miss by Ben Coleman in his basketball game. Odom from long range. I don't think Gail Catlett wanted that shot taken. 2-on-1.
There you get just a little taste of what I was talking about as far as Jeff Baxter is concerned. The kid can play.
West Virginia has tried just about everything in Gail Catlett's repertoire offensively against this Maryland defense today. They've moved Carney out on top like this, moved him way over onto the wing. Rowe has to fight his way underneath and finally gets in.
The young man is a lot stronger than most people realize. At 6'5", West Virginia really emphasizes the weightlifting part of their athletic program, both nautilus and free weights. That's why these guys are so well conditioned and play such a physical style of ball.
Adrian Branch draws the foul from Odom. Odom's fourth personal foul.
In the lineup for West Virginia,
Houston leads by 8. They have not been able to shake Louisiana Tech, though. Louisiana Tech has stayed just about 8 points behind throughout that game.
Adrian Branch.
I guess that tells a story for West Virginia. They've tried everything, Frank. They've tried everything, but Maryland has just been that much stronger. You know, interestingly, Lefty did not have his players come to the arena, even though they got here Wednesday evening because the school is in spring break. He did not have his players come over to watch the games the night before. He did not want them getting overconfident or too tense. As you take a look at Chuck Drizel, the son of Lefty.
Lefty Drizel's son into this ball game now for the last 7 minutes. Probably about as early as he's been into a game this year. Maryland today has just been on fire. They've shot 74% from the floor, 88% from the foul line. Brown tips, and even it won't drop. I think maybe West Virginia's starting to feel a little snake bit at that end, too, as if somebody has put a basket over that rim, won't let the ball go through.
Team fair.
Bernardo Brown is at the free throw line for West Virginia. He is the young man that West Virginia really put the full court press on, trying to recruit out of Detroit, Michigan. Well, now they don't put him at the free throw line, but they thought that he was going to be, or had the potential, because he was compared allegedly to Magic Johnson. J.J. Kroll came as a throw-in because both guys are such good high school friends.
Branch leads a 4-on-2. Coleman.
Very unselfish play by Adrian Branch.
Gail Catlett sits on the far side and just grimaces. There's not much he can do. He's seen Maryland's frontline starters score 18, 18, and 19 points respectively. Pius, Veal, and Coleman. Adrian Branch.
Good job. Again, now that's the progress that Adrian Branch is making. Before freshman year, he might have tried to go 1-on-3.
They'll call the offensive foul on Ben Coleman, so he'll get 2 quick fouls, his first 2 of the day.
Again, the progress that Adrian Branch made, he didn't try to take it himself, gave a nice lob pass inside to Ben Coleman, who should have just gone straight up with it, but tried to collect himself by turning.
Ben Coleman will get a rest. Terry Long is in. Mark Fothergill has come in place of Coleman. They've moved Adrian Branch down to the forward spot as Tim Carney scores, and that is only his first field goal of the second half. Final score, Oklahoma loses to Dayton by 4 points. Roosevelt Chapman had 41 points for Dayton, while Wayman Tisdale scored 36 for Oklahoma.
Well, the physical play just continues. Even though Mark Fothergill's pretty big and strong himself, he gets slapped pretty good by Renardo Brown from behind.
Fothergill goes to the line, an 84% free throw shooter.
Fothergill with 2.
25-point Maryland lead. They got a quick start out of the blocks, and they have not let up. Chuck Drizel gets hacked.
Frank, Adrian Branch deserves a lot of credit. Back on the defensive end, the guy he was checking, Renardo Brown, was trying to feel Adrian with his body. Adrian was behind him. Little subtle trick. Adrian stepped away. Renardo Brown fell backwards because he was expecting that pressure. Adrian stepped in and got the pass and went down for the fast break. Smart play.
Chuck Drizel out of Springbrook High School because that's where his dad lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, to coach the University of Maryland team. Very close relationship. Chuck says he's glad he decided to play basketball for that man. He's happy to be playing for his dad. The relationship has worked very well.
And said on the basketball court, in practice sessions, he's Mr. Drizel. At home, he's dad. And they're able to maintain that split, that dichotomy very well.
And I would imagine that takes a lot of work for both of them. 5.5 minutes left. It has been an awfully long day for West Virginia. But they have walked into a buzzsaw called Maryland. This Maryland team, it would be hard to imagine them playing much better than this. Drizel with a field goal.
Get him out of the lane.
Baxter from Drizel. And he'll have a chance for a three-point play. That's it for Vernon Odom. He's fouled out of the ball game with 4:26 left to play.
He gave it his all, Frank. He hustled all the way. Take a look at Jeff Baxter again, going in for what appears to be an easy layup, but Odom contesting him all the way, not about to make it easy, and he picked up his 5th personal foul.
Another demonstration of that speed of Jeff Baxter.
Official timeout.
Vernon Odom has fouled out. 14 points in a stellar performance, losing cause. This half. 82% for this half. That's why they lead by this margin.
This is the Maryland team that so many critics preseason thought they would see all year long, but they're peaking and getting better at the right time.
This has to be a demoralizing experience for West Virginia, too, to have such a remarkable year. Remember, this Mountaineer team tied for 4th place in their conference. Everybody wrote them off. They said Gail Catlett just didn't have the horses this year. They tied for 4th place. They went into their conference tournament, and they won the whole thing. Along the way, they beat the #1 team in the conference, Temple. They won the tournament championship. So they've had a great year, and I know it hurts them to have to finish that great year on a note like this against a team that seemingly can do no wrong today. A team that so far has missed about 10 shots all day long.
They'll get a chance to get revenge on this Maryland squad. They will start a 4-year deal with Maryland. They open up at Maryland's home court next year. First game of the year, home game, and it'll be a 4-year deal, so they'll go back and forth at each other.
Pinckney makes the basket and has a chance to convert a three-point play.
This is the young man they call the bull in the china shop. He's not a polished player yet, very big and strong, trying to work to develop him into a power forward.
Maryland has gone to the bench. Baxter misses. No, Drizel, the little guy underneath there.
And you know the coach feels a special bit of pride on that move there.
I think so. At the other end, an answer from Pinckney. Chuck Drizel and Jeff Baxter are the guards now. Pete Holbert is in at a forward, along with Terry Long. Mark Fothergill is the center. Long misses. Holbert is there. And a good block by West Virginia. Another good block by Maryland. Chuck Drizel couldn't get it to go. Blaney will get the foul.
When you look at this squad of Maryland's out on the floor, you recognize how much talent Maryland does have. The young man, Pete Holbert, number 33 in the white, comes from a good basketball program in Northern Virginia, W.T. Woodson, where he played for a very well-known coach, Red Jenkins. Pete Holbert has got one of the best looking shooting forms and one of the best pure shooters around. He can knock his zone dead, but again, he's had to ride the bench because of all that talent on the Maryland squad.
Renardo Brown has fouled out. Reminder, when this game is over, Brent Musburger will join us with highlights from around the NCAA today. Some perspective on this tournament and what has happened today in the second round region games. Holbert comes up with a loose ball. Baxter carries it, should have been a walk. We'll get a foul instead.
No, that was just a good move, Frank.
Was it? No walk?
Super move. As a matter of fact, I'm sure if it was, the official said it was so pretty. Take a look. Good shake and make move. Nice crossover dribble. No walk there, ladies and gentlemen.
That wasn't a walk?
And he adjusted the arc. That was what you call a superb playground move, Frank.
Baxter. Six today.
And Maryland is just 2 shy of the century mark.
Blaney with an ace. Holbert the rebound. Blaney picks it off. Lester Rowe scores his 14th.
Time when the reserves get a chance to impress the coaching staff to solidify their position and hopefully playing time for next season.
Holbert, a good long-range shooter, misses. Blaney.
Hard to believe that Dale Blaney was only recruited by 2 schools. West Virginia was one that he wanted to come to.
Baxter beats the defender.
Boy, Chuck Drizel is really playing a nice game. Good unselfish play by him.
Rowe misses. Off the hands of a West Virginia player, it will be Maryland ball.
Well, Maryland hit the 100-point mark.
100-71. Maryland has dominated from the opening gun. They pass the ball back and forth. Tempers, gentlemen.
J.J. Kroll is smart. Even though he gets frustrated, he passes that ball hard and walks his distance away from the 6'9", Mark Fothergill.
Missed the three-point play, and we got a double foul. Hank Nichols calls because of elbows going for the rebound. Rowe will get one, and I think Fothergill the other.
It's a basketball game, not
Fothergill will get the other. Baxter tried to steal. Crawl inside. Nice pass to the Ward. You can understand that. It's been a long day for that young man. His 16th point. Someone tried to block his shot. He dumped it.
I think Lester Rowe had a point he wanted to make with this vicious slam here. At 6'5", he goes over top of 6'9" Fothergill and 6'8" Terry Long. Rather pretty move, Frank.
Yes.
You guys go to your beds. Let's go. Do your beds.
Hank Nichols is now going to call the two coaches over. He wants Gail Catlett and Lefty Drizel. He wants to talk about people losing tempers at the end of the game. The executive producer of NCAA basketball is Kevin O'Malley. Today's game was produced by Charles Milton III, directed by Bob Duncan. Our associate producer was Bob Rowe, field technical manager John Pumo, and our broadcast associate Lance Barrow. Statistics from Marty Aronoff. For those cameramen and videotape operators here in Birmingham with this doubleheader. A nice job, gentlemen.
Thank you. Some superb shots, Frank.
57 seconds remain in this game. Maryland will advance to the Mid-East Finals next week in Lexington, Kentucky. Rowe misses the layup after all that temper. Misses the free throw after the temper anyway. Atkins with a steal. Chuck Drizel, 7 points in the ballgame. Final. Houston held on to win by 8 over Louisiana Tech. You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner. The remainder of this game. Pete Holbert has not scored yet today. He's the only Maryland player not to score.
West Virginia substitution. Number 10, Lee Weary. Replacing Lester Rowe.
Clock countdown on Maryland's opening victory in the NCAA tournament. The Terrapins came out to start the game and in the first half shot 74% from the field. They warmed up to shoot 84 before waltzing away.